All right, so welcome to our team call for August 28th. We have, technically, if you count today, 4 days left in the month. So I just wanted to remind you guys, we have Morning Meltdown challenge packs are still $20 off. We still have promo codes this month if you haven't used them all yet. And if you somehow missed it or you live under a rock, we have the flash sale going in the team page right now. That Jess and I set up earlier this week. So we posted all of these different promo pack options of challenge pack options. If you're not in there, you can still feel free to join us. We're keeping it open through the end of the month. We did that intentionally this time. That way, people who hopped in right on, the first day or second day were in there. But this way we had something to continue inviting to through the end of the month. So we can hopefully use all those promo codes and change all of the lives and help 3 or more people in the month and lock in Success Club. And I just want to remind you that we have action hours going every single week. So those are the live power hours that you have the ability to hop on. They're being run by different leaders every single week at different times. So sometimes they're in the morning, sometimes they're at night. I think Whitney is running one tomorrow. I think it was at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're around and you want to hop on that, and I would love, I can post a Google Doc in the team page if anyone would like to sign up for some more nighttime power hours. That would be awesome because I know a lot of you can't get on during the day. But I just wanted to say, if you are still kind of a newer coach, you can feel free to run those. It's not like you're actually necessarily really leading anything. You're just picking a time to hop on for accountability, and you just run through the tracker and set a timer and put on some music. And it's just a really feel good way to have accountability for getting our vital behaviors done. So those are around for you to use. And we've been posting every single week at the top, the pinned post in the team page when the power hours are. Power hours are vital behaviors. I'm assuming you must be new. Welcome. So that is just the vital behaviors that we run through that really help us grow our businesses and change lives. So we can explain that to you. But there is a power hour tracker in the team page. Maybe your coach. Who is your coach? Because we can have her tag you in one. Okay, so go ahead, Kelly.
No, I was saying I can tag her in the business tracker.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wanted to let everybody know that pumpkin spice Shakeology is coming back. Who's a pumpkin spice fan? I am. That's coming back September 3rd. So be in the know. You can start sharing about that in your challenge groups if you want to share about it in your Instagram stories. If you're gonna make a post about it on social media, I would recommend that it's not like you holding a shaker cup. It is something creative. Sharing about pumpkin spice Starbucks and all the alternative options that are out there that are not really that great for you, but why Shakeology has benefited your life and why you're so excited about this. And pumpkin spice is the shit. We got it last year. It was amazing. The flavor is incredible. So that will sell out fast. It's sold out super fast last year. So just be in the know that if you do want to order that, or you do have customers that want to order it, that they get right in on September 3rd and place that order because it will run out. And the last thing I wanted to mention is that our Diamond and Beyond Push to Potential group is running, and we did some call to actions in there the last 2 days to push out of your comfort zone. So I kind of want to relay that message to our team as well. We have been kind of talking about how doing things that scare you and doing things that are outside your comfort zone really help you build your confidence and build your momentum and get your message out to more people. So Jess did a challenge yesterday for all of us to go live on our social media pages, and I did that this morning. And if you know me, you know I hate going live on my personal page, but it was actually kind of fun, and it felt really great when I was done. So I'm going to encourage you guys, and maybe it's not going live, maybe it's something else, to share something in the comments here tonight that is uncomfortable or scary to you, and then I'm going to challenge you over the next 2 days to go do that. So I would love to hear what that is. And I promise you, it feels awesome once you're done. You feel so liberated and high on life that you actually did something that you told yourself you couldn't do because it's a lie, right? So anyways, speaking on pushing out of your comfort zone, Mary Paige and I have been chatting. Oh, hold on, before I get started. Kelly Spencer, did you have any announcements? I know you said you had something to share.
Just kind of going back to the old school announcements that we do. I wanted to congratulate Mercedes, who's not on the call, on reaching Emerald in 24 hours of becoming a coach. So I'm really excited about that. And she already she's going with my strategy of lining people up and just getting them all signed up at the beginning of a month so she can just chill for the rest of the month and get ready for the next. And she already has 2 people ready to jump on the 1st. So I'm really proud of her for that. And then Jayan, who's on the call, regained her Emerald and has been going full steam at this business again. So I'm really excited for her as well. So congratulations to those guys.
Yes, congratulations. That's amazing. I wish.
And I want to hop in there too, quickly. Because I have 2 new peeps on the call tonight. So I believe, unless you guys were on last week when I wasn't here, but Danielle and Kate are 2 of my new coaches. They have actually been in my challenge groups for a while and are finally saying, let's give this a go. And so I'm really excited to have them both because they've been really great in sharing constantly in our groups and everyone sees it and I love it. And it's early, but tomorrow we will be having a new Emerald in the house because Kate is hitting Emerald. So she signed her husband up and she got a friend from a post and she was super nervous doing her coming out post and she got like 1,000 people that like commented, and same with Danielle. I think you both were like, oh my goodness. And to see the love, I think was really nice right out of the gate. So super exciting.
Yes, I love that. Congratulations. It's so exciting. And welcome to the tribe.
Yeah.
So awesome. Does anybody else have any announcements they want to shout out? Kelly Spencer, what you said reminded me that I should mention, in case you didn't know, but just so that everybody knows, even if you're not a new coach, but just be in the know that we are now hosting new coach action calls every other week. So we had one this past week, so we won't have one next week, but the following week we will, which are just really great, like getting started with the basics and taking action as a new coach. So we kind of walk them through making a coming out post. I know Jayan was on one earlier this week. We talk about their fears that they might have. We talk about kind of the basics and just a lot of really important things for coaches to really have success right out of the gates. And they have been pretty awesome so far. So make sure that you know when those are up and coming so that if you are a new coach, you can hop on them. And if you are not a new coach, but you have a new coach, that you can tag them in those to make sure they can hop on those with us too. So all right, if we are done with announcements, so Mary Paige and I have been talking quite a bit lately, and she has recently kind of shared a little bit of a shift in her why and what's driving her in this business. And she let me know yesterday that she's in like a really good space and things are really kind of turning in a direction that she's really fired up about. And I don't know if you've noticed, but she's crushing it on social media. She's doing incredible in her stories. And I just have seen so much awesome, beautiful growth in Mary Paige, and just in her excitement and the energy that she's showing up with. And when she texted me today what she was doing, I loved what she said so much, because she said, and this I quote, she said, there is, hold on, I have to read it from her text message for you because I can't even read my handwriting. That's how sloppy I wrote. All right. So she said, at the end of what she said, these actions were always within my power, but I didn't have enough fire under my ass to move harder on them, which I think is so powerful. And all of us can relate to that in different times in our businesses where we know what to do and we know how to do it. And like we say, like what we do is simple, but it's not easy, right? And so I thought it would be awesome if we could have Mary Paige come on and just talk about what has shifted in her mindset and her energy, and just like the power that she is personally putting behind what is driving her business forward, because that is what is the actual game changer. And she was just saying how much truth there is about having your back against the wall and having that driving force. So kind of the concept of not wanting something, but needing something with this business. So Mary Paige, I'm going to read her little intro to you, but she started Beachbody in January of 2017. She's currently a diamond coach. She's a 2B mindset mentor and ultimate portion fix certified coach. She has lost over 50 pounds on her journey. And if you've never seen a photo of her transformation, it is absolutely like jaw-dropping, incredible. I'm so inspired every time I see it. She's a stay-at-home mama to Henry and Helen. And she just needed a lifestyle change because of her own health risks, and just saw this as a really incredible opportunity. And it's just so awesome to watch her step into this next level of growth in her business. So, Paige.
Awesome. Thank you, Dana, for that awesome intro. Recently a lot of things have shifted, and I sent Dana a couple weeks ago a message, basically out of desperation, to not go into a very long story, but my husband and I really kind of found ourselves in a bit of like a financial crisis where we just really have overlooked a lot of bad decisions. And for a long time, I kept saying to myself for this business, oh, I'm going to pay off all our debt. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to take my family on these vacations. But like, I don't think it was ever real to me. And so basically, to kind of back up a little bit, when I first started Beachbody and I first started coaching, it was almost like the community part that I really, really loved. And by the way, guys, I'm sorry, my cats are going wild back here behind me if you're hearing them, the jingles. But Beachbody itself, like the community, was what I fell in love with. I wanted to be a part of it. I loved being a part of the team. I loved being on all the challenge groups, and like that just drew me in. And I was like, oh my God, I gotta be doing what they're doing because that seems awesome. So I started sharing, and then it was almost like a drug. Like all these people like wanted to join me, and I absolutely was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Like I'm building all these people are coming to join me, and I'm building my own little community. So basically I felt that community that drew me in. And then over time, it actually became more of accountability for me. And I didn't realize it until recently that it was more accountability for me. I wouldn't have that 50-pound loss if it weren't for coaching, truly and honestly. When I started coaching, I'd only lost about like 15 pounds doing a couple programs. But when I did start coaching, I knew I had to be a product of the product. So I just kind of dove right in. I fell in love with Shift Shop. I did all the programs from like 80-day obsession. It just kind of snowballed until like I kept getting all these results. And so then it became accountability. So I had this why of like wanting the community and this why of wanting that accountability. But a couple weeks ago, when we really were just faced with the fact that we need to get our shit together, there's no other way to say it. I was at like my end, and my husband, bless him, he is awesome. He has been working a full-time job, 40 to 50 hours a week. He was taking on a side business where he does interviews. He was also going to get his master's, and he was doing all of this for the last 2.5 years. And we were making somewhat money, and I really wanted to be able to make that for him, but I wasn't getting anywhere close. And it truly and honestly, it was because I was just kind of dragging my feet in this business. And I kept thinking, wow, there's so much potential here. There's so much potential here. I'm going to get that one day. But I just truly, like, in my head, I was like in that negative space. Like, I don't know if I'll actually get there. So I sent a message to Dana, and I'm like, I don't know what to do, but I have to do this. And I put our Success Club trip on the line. I have a goal by the end of the year, and if I don't hit it, I have to forfeit our Success Club trip, and it sucks. But it's the only way I'm going to push for it. I have to put something that I'm truly, honestly looking forward to on the line, or else I won't push for something big. And so if you don't have a why that's big enough for you to push, you're probably not going to show up consistently with your business. I said to myself at the beginning of the year, I was going to show up consistent, and I was, and I have been, and I've been trying to grow and learn at the same time. But it was in a couple weeks ago when I truly felt a shift, and like, it's do or die. So when I felt that, I basically was like, I'm not inviting as much. Maybe occasionally I was inviting to coaching. That's where you're going to grow your business. That's what I've been told this whole time. Invite to the coaching business. And I wasn't. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Fuck fear. I'm just going to send out messages. I'm just going to send this saying, hey, look, you have this opportunity. Like, are you interested? And just say, you know what? They might be interested or might not. Who knows? But I put it out there. And maybe they read it and they don't respond. But guess what? They read it. They didn't respond, but they're still watching. And so since then, I have basically 10x'd all my actions. I am sending way more invites than I ever did before. I'm actually, feeling that result come back to me. Like, more people are writing back, like, well, what do you mean? What are you talking about, this accountability group? Or coaching, like, I might be getting a few no's, but I'm certainly getting, feelers out there. So I have 10x'd all my actions. And truly and honestly, guys, if you listen to every single top coach in our business, every single one of them will tell you they didn't get to where they were with doing all these crazy things, like with their stories and their ads or this or that and the other. They truly did the vitals every single day. They lived and breathed the vitals. And it's like, if you aren't doing those things, then you're not showing up for your business. So I knew I was lacking in showing up 100% for them. I think I was showing up about 80, 85. And 80, 85 is not going to get me to my goal. And so I was like, okay, I got to go. I got to push hard. I got to absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Annalisa, right? Like, we all kind of go through it where it's like, we feel we know what we need to do. We know that we have to do these things, but it's like, sometimes it's really hard to show up if you don't know why you're showing up. So I was telling Dana on text earlier, I was like, are you familiar with a exercise to really kind of dig a little deeper in your why? And this is an exercise I did in a workshop over the summer. And it's called Seven Levels Deep. And it's by, if you guys, it's Deep Graziosi, if you know his name. Anyway, it's this exercise where you're able to take your why, and you're not going to be able to say, hey, oh yeah, I know exactly why do I want this? Well, I need to make money for my family. Well, why do you need to make money? Well, and then you go a little bit deeper. The exercise itself is actually supposed to dig really deep into, why are you showing up for your business every single day, or whatever it might be? Why do you need to lose weight? Why do you need? And this is a great tool to also use with your challengers. Maybe you have challengers who basically just sign up and never do anything about it. Like, they don't show up in your group. They don't check in back with you. And you have to go back to them and be like, why did you want to do this in the first place? And dig deep with them. So I recommend to you guys, when you have the time, hopefully sooner rather than later, Google 7levelsdeep.com or go to the website. And it's a basic website. Some kid made it. It's nothing fancy. But it's just an exercise. And it's going to prompt you and say, the first question is, what do you want to do? And then 6 times over, you answer the question, and why is that important to you? That's all it is. And it truly is going to dig a little deeper as to why you want to do something. Over the summer, before I kind of had this couple weeks revelation, my why was really about that accountability. Like, I didn't feel like as if I would show up for myself if I didn't have coaching. Coaching was just a part of my life. And good, I'm glad. So I truthfully, when I actually did the exercise again today, I was thinking about it and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna redo it. And it's kind of interesting how I kind of dug deep, and it really made more sense as to why I really want these. And it actually makes more sense why I put the Success Club trip on the line. I'm doing this because I truly and honestly, I want to make money. I want to be financially free so that I can be able to afford vacations for my family. my husband works so damn hard, and I want to be able to give him like a stress-free time to like go and have a great time. Like he had so much fun on our cruise last year, and be able to have that, like I truly and honestly, that's an awesome opportunity. And plus the fact that it's being paid for all by Beachbody, like, hello, yes, please. But I'm putting it on the line because we still have to afford to pay the airline tickets, right? So I want travel. I want that travel because I never had travel as a kid because my parents weren't ever able to travel with us. We weren't like bad off, but at the same time, they didn't really have the extra money to spend on doing things like that. And that's what the experiences that I want to give back to my kids that I truly didn't have. So I did this exercise and I kind of just boiled down and figured that out about myself. Like travel is important to me, making sure my family has an awesome, fun experience, and like making sure I don't make the same mistakes as my parents. And so when you kind of look back on that and you're like, holy shit, like, well, then you have to do this. Like if you're not showing up every single day, like you, what the hell are you doing? Like, I hate to be so vulgar on this entire call, guys, but this is just me. Shit or get off the pot. It's sometimes like a phrase that I use, and it's like, I'm telling myself that, like, stop fooling yourself and just playing in this business. You know you can do this. You know you have the potential. Why aren't you maxing out on it? It's because I just didn't have enough of a why. Kelly, that's not vulgar. I didn't have enough of a why to really push me forward, and I truly needed to find that. So like I said, what do you do when you figure that out? Because truthfully, how many of you guys, show of hands, or put in your, my animal is climbing up my curtain. Show of hands, or put in the comments, like how many of you guys have a why and know, like, can pinpoint exactly why you are here? Okay. So, okay, that's good. That's like all of you guys have kind of thought about it. So I know that I thought that I had my why figured out, right? So I want you to take that why and then obviously go through the exercise tonight or tomorrow and then try to see if it turns out to be something totally different. Because a lot of times what you don't realize is there's such a bigger story underneath it that you're not telling yourself, that you're not uncovering, and it's interesting to hear. So maybe, like, you know, once you do the exercise, like come back on to the team page and like share, like, if it changed. Like, you don't have to like give us full the details if it's, you know, something private, but like I'd be interested to know if it really kind of changed for you. So truthfully, I just knew that if I didn't find this for myself, if I didn't find the power to have that fire to just kind of say, F it, I have to go all in. I can't be scared of doing these actions anymore. I have to do more to get to where I want to be. And if you are truly fearful or finding it really hard to show up for some of these vitals every single day, you have to really put your feelings aside. Because if you aren't sharing this opportunity, then why, like, there are just so many people out there that need this and need to hear this from you, that it's absolutely like your responsibility to put it out there. But you got to know why you're putting it out there and then how to use it, you know, on social media, how to talk about it. So, Dana, you said something earlier about sharing something that's uncomfortable and getting out of your comfort zone. So, and I had told Dana that I was having a really hard time putting words to sharing a little bit about this story and like what we're kind of going through. And while I didn't open up about a ton of the details, but I did share on Instagram and on my Facebook page that I you know, we're kind of going through this issue with debt, and that I'm just like everybody else in this world. I'm, you know, I can guarantee that a lot of us can all relate to each other when we talk about debt, the debt that we probably have and that we're trying to pay off. And that part of this job is to help that, to financially help that, and to help other women do the same thing. So I shared that story, and it was super uncomfortable for me to do, but like I absolutely put it out there, and I was just like, you know what? Someone has to hear this, and someone needs to hear this. And that's kind of how that's kind of where I'm at this point. But that's overall, I mean, I truly haven't done anything different. I'm still showing up for the vitals, but I'm 10xing them over like every single day. If I was inviting 3 to 5 people every single day, then now I'm inviting probably 15 to 20 people every day. And yeah, gotta go to bed. Good night, guys. So yeah, that's basically where I'm at right now. And if you guys have any questions for me, like how, you know, this can help you, I'd love to hear it. So.
And Pete, I would love if you would elaborate a little more about what we were talking about. I'll just kind of quickly explain, and then she can share her sentiment. But kind of like, I don't know if anyone can relate to this, but have you ever felt weird about sharing like income or talking about coaching because you think that people might think you're not as passionate about helping people? Like that people might question your intention if you come on too strong that you're like building a business or you're driving to make income. And we were just kind of talking about how, like, what makes the biggest impact, and what makes the biggest impact is coaching. Because when you're helping someone as a coach, you're not only helping them with their fitness, their wellness, their own personal journey, but we're also giving them an incredible opportunity to completely transform their life. And that's something, if you want to talk a little bit, Mary Paige, about how you're trying to like work that more into what you're sharing, because it's been tough up until this point.
It absolutely has. And honestly, it's the income part of it is a really hard subject to broach with like any sort of social media. You definitely don't want to come off as like, give me all the money, give me, but at the same time, there's so many people who can absolutely relate. You know, so I'm, you know, a stay-at-home mom, but I left a full-time working job to be a stay-at-home mom. And I never had any intention to ever pick up another job or do anything. I actually was doing stationery on the side, but honestly, it was not making me a ton. And this all kind of fell in my lap. I just really never expected this. So I feel like now talking about it has been, and has been and will be easier because Dana, you said something today that was like, it's more about the fulfillment and the purpose behind it, right? So our job is not to go out and make as much money as we possibly can. Our job as a coach is really just to try to help as many people. In return, if you help as many people as possible, find that support, that guidance, that fulfillment, the same one, the purpose that you feel, then you've done your job, and in turn it's going to pay you back, right? So coming at it with a conversation of like, you know, finding that purpose and helping others do the same is an easier way to talk about how you can build a business by doing the same thing, right? So I mean, I kind of got at that with my post tonight. I'm still working on it, so it's like a work in progress, but like it was just super vulnerable. I didn't know how to share the opportunity in this way and say like, you know, I need to make money. and it's just one of those things where yeah, you have to look at it. You have to take the money part out of it and really kind of talk about, and you know, how the business will grow when you focus on other aspects of it. Hopefully that elaborates a little bit more.
What you said reminds me of what Keith Callahan always said, and he'd say, set big goals, set really big goals, and then just focus on serving others. And that's basically what you just nailed.
But it's true though. I mean, I will get like anxious about my goals. Like if I set them and if I'm not even close to them, I'm like, I start freaking out, right? We all kind of do that, right? We're like, holy shit, I'm not at my SC, whatever it is, you know, you want to be at by the end of the month. You're like, I need to be here. Well, if you just take a step back and you really focus on the people, I've done a better job now in my conversations. I think I was really struggling in the past few months, figuring out conversations. And I really think the more questions you ask people, the more they're going to see that you really kind of care about their well-being. Right? And it's so hard being a new coach too, where you want to word vomit. So like I've been there, I have done all of those things and I have still done it to this day. Like I'll jump too soon. I'm like, whoa, what did I just do? I need to like pull it back in. But you have to be patient with the journey too. Because this is fun because truthfully, I have really dug into the fact that like, if you are focused on the person and helping them where they're at right now, it's going to pay you back in other ways that you won't even know. Okay. I'm going to tell you guys what happened last month to me. Cause no, I haven't actually told anybody this. Last month it was July. So we went to Summit and I think I might've gone to Summit with SC2. We went to Summit. We had 1 week in between. I busted my ass in that week between. And then I went on vacation and I was still at SC2 and I was like getting really frustrated with myself, but I was still talking to people. I was still doing as much as I possibly can to talk to people, to get the word out, and nothing was happening. I was getting really, really frustrated. So I get back from vacation, I log into my computer and holy shit, I had SC6. And I was like, hey, Nick, can you double check this, that I'm looking at this right? Like, how did this happen? And something happened where I had a coach order, or she had just became a coach and she had never ordered challenge pack, or she did something and it got me SC points. And then someone else ordered a completion pack. I didn't know she was doing it. She just did it out of the blue. And it's one of those things where you like focus on the people, focus on who you're talking about, and the universe will take care of it. Trust me, guys. Like, universe is hearing that you have these goals set, that these are the goals that you want, but you have to kind of pull back and just say, you know what? I'm going to focus on what I can control right now, and that's talking to people. Does anybody else have any questions?
Mic drop.
Sorry, I also feel like I'm rambling, so if you guys are like,
Nope, it's perfect. Kate asked, what are the best questions that people respond to most? I think that's so situational, but I'm curious to hear what you say.
It is. So the way I take it, I say, you have an intro question. So an example would be, say you're on Instagram and you start a conversation with somebody and then you want to transition that conversation. It's like, oh, so by the way, were you following me because you have like some health goals, or like you just kind of like fun mom stuff too? And just make it playful. And then they say, oh, well, I'm working on some health goals too. You're like, cool, what are you doing? Like, super casual, like don't jump into it. They tell you, and then just start asking them questions. Oh, well, how'd that work for you? Oh, but did you enjoy that? And it just depends, right? Like on the conversation, like what they're talking about. And you can give like little tidbits like, oh, I've learned, like maybe they say, oh, I've been exercising crazy, but I'm not losing any weight. And we're like, oh man, well, you know what I learned on my journey? It's like nutrition is like 80% of the battle. So, I mean, have you focused on your nutrition yet? And asking questions is really going to open them up a little bit more. And even when you think that you know everything at that point, to suggest a challenge back to them, ask more questions. Because I have learned that I even have to go back and reevaluate, like, okay, did I talk to them about, and maybe they haven't, by the way, some coaches use a survey for this. If you haven't created a survey or do any of that, this is like the route you would take. But like if you don't ask them about their energy levels or maybe their digestion or something like that, or maybe they have cravings and you haven't asked about that yet. Like those are great questions to lead Shakeology into that conversation, right? So asking those pretty, important questions in my mind. Anybody else?
Does anybody have questions for Mary Paige?
I know this is like short and sweet, and hopefully you guys, and Kate, like, it's one of those things that it's all pretty damn scary right now, and you're still learning, and it's all learned through a process of just putting it out there. The number of times I have failed forward is unbelievable. And every veteran coach on this entire team can tell you that too.
All of us have failed.
Chatting about nutrition when people are really focused on just the workout piece. Okay. So are they, like, it really kind of depends on their goals. If they're focused on, like, are you asking nutrition, like food, or are you talking about like how to bring Shakeology into the conversation? And feel free to unmute yourself. More Shakeology. Okay. Well, it really kind of depends. You're welcome, Carly. So if they're focused on just the workout piece and they really don't really have any weight loss goals per se, like, I would shift the conversation more into like a performance line kind of conversation, just because that might be their number one goal, is to maybe build muscle. Maybe they want that pre-workout to like get that, good groove going. And absolutely that, Shakeology is beneficial in both ends. So really kind of diving in. And I would definitely recommend, when you guys are having these conversations, definitely, I would do this all the time to my coach. I would like screenshot my conversation and be like, can you tell me how to respond to this? And she would write me back. So yeah, I mean, I would definitely it's situational, and it's really hard to say like, how do I respond? But truthfully, you just speak to the value and the benefit that they could give, it could give to their goal. Good night, Stephanie. Feel better. I saw another question. Did someone ask, okay, how do you get people over the price? So I would recommend you listen into Jess Lanier's Shakeology webinar. She did an awesome job of like breaking down the value of what it is. And it's totally like, I mean, details, like so many details, and it just gives you the power. I had actually listened to her YouTube video about it beforehand, and I was like, whoa, that's like mind blowing. I didn't even know. So that really helps me have a conversation about Shakeology when I know a little bit more about how it's helping me. I also have my own story where I can say like, it's really helped me with my energy, my cravings, immunity boost, all those things. Yeah. Hey, Dana, is there a link
it posted? I don't think I haven't seen it yet in the Difference Maker movement, but whenever we see it, I'll post it in the team page.
Yeah. And Jen, you're right. Questions. All the questions. Have a conversation, guys. Like, truthfully, someone said to me a long time ago, when you're having a conversation with someone, like, just pretend they're right there in front of you. Like, how would you talk to your friend about this? Yeah, Katie, it is. It's, from the webinar this past week, or you're talking about the Shakeology one that she'd done on YouTube? Okay.
She's done a ton of those calls, so granted, if you go to her YouTube, you'll see one, even if it wasn't
right.
Same thing.
Cool. So how many people are going to go 7 levels deep with their why? Right? So you should, even all the veterans on this, you should do it again, because your why can change, guys. Like, I love Dana's story. Like, her why has definitely shifted over the years that I've been a part of this team. And I think I came on while you were going through the custody battle, but like how important, that was a huge why to you, and like how that changed so much once it was over, and like all these other things just started happening in your life. And it's like, our lives are constantly changing, and shit's going to come up, and it's kind of one of those things where you have to reevaluate why you're here and what you're doing so that you don't lose that fire in the business.
And I feel like that's what you just said. One of the things that you don't necessarily think about is what happens after you accomplish certain goals, or really big goals, or you have accomplished like the things you set out to do. Because I've experienced that over the course of my journey, is like hitting a wall where you accomplish a lot of the things you wanted to, and then you're like, oh shit, now what? Like, I just want to like put it out there that every time you have to create a new why or set bigger goals, that it's always scary and it's always uncomfortable and it always takes digging deeper into. And I love this exercise because I'm totally excited to do it. So
yeah, I mean, that's exactly right. Like, I think I posted it last night. Like, once you reach your goal, yeah, you have to reset. Yeah. Like, here's what I did when I was losing weight. My goal was always 10 pounds. And every new 10 pounds, I'd set another 10 pounds until I was like, I think 50 was like, it's probably where I need to stop. But like that, it's just like that. Set a goal right now. So I have a goal to the end of the year, but like I need to set, things so that once I reach it, I'm like, okay, great. Now what? Great. Now what? And that's those stepping stones that you have to make for yourself, or else it does lose its luster a little bit.
Well, and you evolve so much over time too, I think is a factor, that as you evolve and change, the things you might want change too.
Oh yeah.
Or what you believe you are worthy and capable of expands more as you grow as a person too, I think. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's your life that's always evolving. So changing, your why is going to happen often.
Anybody else have questions?
They are. I'm sorry, guys, with the cats. I seriously thought they'd be sleeping right now.
Your fur children.
But I love them so much. Hopefully this is
like they needed to hear this call tonight. Like, can we get an amen for Mary Paige coming on and sharing this? Because I think it was just so powerful.
You guys are absolutely welcome. And honestly, it's definitely been a big shift, and I'm glad I've had to hit this point in our lives for me to just say, okay, you have to. It's now or never.
So how about we make it a team call to action that by next Wednesday we will have all done this 7
levels.
I was gonna say 7 layers deep, like a 7.
I know. I keep wanting to say the same thing. Not a 7-layer dip.
A 7-layer cake. We're all gonna do the 7 levels.
Here, I'm gonna post it in the chat.
Post it in our team page. Post it in the team page by next Wednesday. I'll put a post up about it, and we can all share what we discovered about ourselves and our whys, and what kind of fire that brings to the table. How's that sound? Yes, 7-layer cake goals.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Mary Paige, so much for speaking life into us tonight. And we will see you all next week. Good night, ladies.